Whether you're a brand new podcaster or you've been podcasting for years, this video is for you. There are 3 tenets that all successful podcasters follow, but nobody talks about them. Over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to uncover the secret sauce to podcast success, no fluff, actual tactics by using real podcasters as examples. These are podcasters who have not only generated hundreds of thousands, but have generated even millions of dollars in revenue from their podcast. So let's dive in. It's a cold, rainy day in New Jersey. I lace up my boots and head down to the shop for another day under the hood of a car. I get there. My boss does not say hello. He says, "You're getting a raise. $1 from $14 to $15 an hour." I smile, I nod, say thank you. In my head, I'm not thinking, I'm screaming, "Is this it? Is this it? I'm spending the money I'm making on my used crappy car, on a liberal arts degree, and on the idea that this whole working for somebody else thing is completely normal." So, after work, I do what I do almost every day. I get home, open up YouTube, watch another video. But today, somebody pops up once again on my YouTube homepage. He's loud, some say annoying, some say obnoxious. His name is Gary V. Click on the video, as I always do, because I'm a religious fan. This particular video says, "Anybody can start a podcast, man. Anybody can start a podcast, man." I'm anybody. Another day at the shop. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do it. How do I do it? I'll figure that out as I go. I head to Best Buy, closes at 8. I get there at 7:40. I got my USB microphone, the first one that I can find on the shelf, probably the cheapest. Got my USB webcam, 1080p. It's the only thing I knew. And I got home. And I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to open up YouTube. And I see there again my digital mentor, Gary V. He's in my head now, and I'm going, I can't do what I always did. I have to actually do it this time. And that day was the first time that I recorded a podcast. Got my laptop, I got my webcam, I got my mic. This podcast was called Monday Thoughts. It was a podcast that I released every Monday. I would put it on YouTube, I would put it on Instagram. And I'm not sure if it's because I didn't care or because I didn't know, but I didn't promote it. I didn't think anybody was going to listen to it. So I'm running my podcast by myself. I'm staring at the camera. The camera was my guest. My friends knew, hey, Ryan, he likes that guy from that Fear Factor guy. He listens to him all the time. He has like guests on his podcast and they talk about aliens, whatever. That's about all they knew. But my friend James said, "I know you want to have a guest on this podcast. I know that you're a psychopath and you could talk to the camera with nobody else in the room. But maybe, just maybe, you might want to have your first guest." Okay. So James refers me to Tori Grant. Tori comes on my podcast, and I do what every host does. "Tori, tell me about yourself." "How'd you get here? What's your job?" Right? It's my first guest. He explains how he's a social media manager. Interesting. I'm a mechanic. He's a social media manager. Okay. Coolest part about Tori was that every single day on his Instagram he was skateboarding, he was spending time with his wife, he was walking his dog. This is awesome. So, I wrap up the episode and I say, listen, I get it, Tori. If you don't want to give me the sauce, give me the secrets, I get it. He's like, no, I'll tell you. He's like, I use this platform. It's called Upwork.com. I apply for jobs on there, and I manage people's social media accounts. I've made over 6 figures from this platform. So I do what any 21-year-old with an underdeveloped prefrontal cortex does. I say, boss, I'm not coming back this summer. I got a new job. It's called Upwork.com. 10 proposals, 20 proposals, 30 proposals, 40 proposals. Tori, is this a scam? Because I haven't made $1. Looks like everything's right. Just keep going, okay? So I keep going. Now I'm in month 3. $0 in revenue, quit my job. Not only is my dad asking questions, but I'm starting to ask more questions too. Until I get the notification. Bling! Your proposal has been accepted. Awesome. Great. $80 for a voiceover of a covered bridge. I said, what too? Guy said, hey, I fly this drone. I just need somebody to read this script. Okay. $80. Doesn't sound like much unless it's $80 towards the rest of your life. So I do my $80. I get my $80. And I'm like, okay, now something's happening. 10 proposals, 20 proposals, 30 proposals. Not only am I running out of credits on this site called Upwork, I'm running out of money. I don't know how long I can keep doing this, but remember I had the podcast. I had my little Monday thoughts. And you know what I'm doing? I'm going on. It's called Logic Pro. It's basically like GarageBand. I'm editing my audio. I'm using something called iMovie. I'm editing the video. What if I could go on Upwork and do that? Maybe I'm not a voice actor. I've never done a voiceover in my life, but I'm editing this podcast, so maybe I can do that. 10 proposals, 20 proposals, 30 proposals. Not only now, it's not like before where it's dwindling. Like I have no credits. I have $270 in my bank account. This is not looking good. But I say to myself, maybe I should just get the job back. I know I can call my boss and go back to the shop. That could be my life, but at least I'll have some money. Until I get a call. I get a call from a guy who I don't know. Hey, are you the podcast guy? Yeah. All right, so we have a podcast with a mentalist. There's going to be celebrity guests. We just need somebody to produce it. You good? Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Send the invoice. We got to start next week. We got guests lined up. No brand. No website. No social media. No experience. $5,000 contract. Sent my proposals. I put my work in. I was about to give up. So if myself, a mechanic who's 20, 21 years old, with no brand, no website, no name, nothing, can not only watch a loud guy on YouTube and then go make his own podcast, but also produce a podcast with high-level celebrity guests, again, with no experience, then imagine what you can do. Most of you have a podcast. Most of you have a business. And if you do have a podcast, then why not run it like a business? The guy who had $80, he only had $80. The people with 5,000, guess what they had? Not 1, not 2, not 3, 5 businesses. Okay. So that's what we're going to do today, but I'm going to go a little bit more into detail. So what we're going to do is, over the course of this next 20 minutes, you're not only going to fall in love with your podcast, which, judging by some of the feedback we've gotten, I've been there too. I fall in love with it, out of love with it. It's like my ex-girlfriend. But maybe it's me. Maybe. So not only are we going to fall in love with our podcast again, we're going to fall in love with the money we're making from our podcast without sponsors, without ads, without affiliates, without basically any of the ways that people typically recommend to monetize your podcast. Now, next question, how we're going to get there. First, we're going to turn our podcast into a content system. Number two, we're going to learn the biggest mistake that podcasters make that kills their growth and their success. And number three, the reason why a lot of us are here. The question that we want answered is, I get it. Podcasting's cool. How the hell am I making money with this thing? So that's what we're about to do over the next 15, 20 minutes. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you guys sure?
Yes.
I can't hear you guys. Does that sound good? Yeah. Awesome. That's the energy I'm talking. I know it's 3 o'clock. There's unlimited coffee here. Let's go. Keep it moving. Okay. So the reality is your podcast is a content system. You may not be treating it like one, but it is, and we're going to talk about exactly what that means. So when creating this presentation, and over the course of the many years I've been doing this, I've been trying to figure out what the formula is. We're here today, we're trying to find frameworks, strategies, formulas. What's something I didn't know that maybe somebody here can show me that's going to unlock something, right? In this case, I studied the most successful podcasts, not Joe Rogan, not Stephen Bartlett, not Tim Ferriss. I didn't want people with 1 billion downloads. I wanted to study people who were like me. I wanted to study people who were mechanics, who were accountants, who are professionals, who may have a 9-to-5 and they're doing it on the side, but they have a successful podcast because that's like me, right? Great. In that case, I found one commonality. It's called the 4-5-1. Judging by all of the people that I knew that had successful podcasts, where all they said was, I love my podcast. It does this for me. It does that for me. They all ran this system. The system is simple. Most of us in this room actually probably already do it, but it's about how we're doing it. 4 podcast episodes a month. Pretty standard. Average of 5 clips per episode, video clips. At least 1 social post per day. That's the system. But I'm about to make it real easy. You just wait. So, I had to find somebody running this system, somebody that I knew who could give me a little bit of insight as to how they actually do it. Because to your point, it's overwhelming to create all this content. This is a lot of content, guys. So, I reached out to my friend Yuri Kapilovich, the fun CPA. Out of the top 5 podcasts you guys listen to, raise your hand if you listen to a lot of accounting podcasts. Exactly. That's what I said. Maybe you do. That's good. Maybe you should know. I'll introduce you. So Yuri was running the 4-5-1, but Yuri had a problem. His problem was he was spending 90% of his time cutting, trimming, editing, writing, posting, managing, sending things to guests, trying to dial in that next clip, and then, oh my God, but I need an episode next week. That's a problem. So I asked him, I said, what did you do? Because you had this podcast before, it wasn't working, now it seems like you're loving the process, but there must have been a change, there must have been something that you changed. He said, well, yeah, I hired somebody. I was like, all right. Yeah, but it's not that simple. He's like, no, it is that simple. He did something that we're all doing by being in this room. By being in this room, you're not working in your podcast, you're working on your podcast. That's what Yuri started to do. Now, it wasn't enough for me to tell you. Not only did Yuri send this to me in a text, he posted it on LinkedIn. You could find the actual post. He posted this for everybody to see because I didn't want you guys to take my word for it. By hiring a producer, it allowed me to focus on the content of the pod. Now, Yuri is in his 40s. I would never call it a pod, so that's how you know this is real. The pod itself, rather than the mundane editing, they optimized it all. They're saving me 40 hours a month. Now, also how you know he's an accountant, he uses the word profession, right? I just find the best damn people in the profession to bring to you. So that's Yuri's case study. So, a couple questions for you guys. For you, if you have a podcast, let's put some hands up. All right, great. If you edit the audio for your podcast, keep your hand up. If you edit the video or video clips for your podcast, keep your hand up. If you would like to take one of those things off your plate, keep your hand up. If you would like to not do any editing at all, keep your hand up. I'm with you. So, my challenge to you. It's 2025. If you don't have somebody helping you, it's probably because you just don't know how to find somebody to help you, because it's not a money thing. And I know I'm going to show you why it's definitely not a money thing. It's a mindset switch. This happened to me as well, right? It happens to all of us. My challenge to you, I'm not saying hiring some agency tomorrow and pay them thousands of dollars. I'm saying find something, that thing you do with your podcast where you go, oh my God, I have to edit these clips again. Take that off your plate. It's 2025. We have access to people all over the world. That's my challenge to you. Now, we already know, treat our podcast like a content system, not by working in the podcast, but by working on the podcast. Yes, so that's where we are now. That's fantastic. You've outsourced, right? You have time. But how do we grow this thing, right? Everybody wants to say, hire an editor, use AI. Okay, you have 30 clips. Are they growing the podcast? That's my next question. And this brings me to the number one mistake podcasters make. Just because you recorded it doesn't mean that it's good. Exactly. I know. It's, for some reason, as podcasters, we have to learn this about 150 times. I have to still learn it myself. Here's another one that I don't need to finish this sentence. 90% of podcasts fail. 90% of podcasts don't reach episode 10. 90% of podcasts have less than 50 downloads. Okay. That means that most people don't listen to most podcasts. Well, our job just got a lot easier. Don't be like most podcasts. That's our only goal. Our only goal is to take ourselves out of the 90% and bring us into the 10. Don't be like most podcasts. Okay, now we know what not to do, because growing your podcast, building your audience, creating a content system is not only about what to do, it's actually about what not to do. So I asked Yuri, I said, what did you do with your time? You got this 90% of time back. He said, well, I started asking questions. I would make a post on social media and I would say, hey, what do you want to see? Crazy enough, not 5 comments, not 10, 50, 60, 70 comments of accountants saying, I would love you to interview this person. I would love you to talk about this. There's no such thing as no more ideas. The problem is you're just not asking enough people. And this isn't me, this is Yuri. This is exactly what he did. So that wasn't enough. So I said, Yuri, I believe it. You outsourced, then you got really intentional about the content and you asked your audience and they gave you, oh yeah, talk to this guy. Does it work? This is where Yuri began to outsource. See what happened? Whoa. That was crazy. Okay. So, exactly. Not 1 month, not 2 months, not 3, not 4, but outsource here, and right here, kind of in month, I gotta get out of the way, in month 5, we go from a hill to a mountain. Right? What if Yuri gave up there? Is anybody in this room, would you, as a podcaster, like to experience this type of growth? Yeah. It's possible. If an accountant can do it, shout out to Yuri, I love you, man, but it's accounting. I'm looking at the camera because he's probably going to watch this. So, okay, I get it. We have don't work in, work on. Be intentional. Ask the audience what to do. And here's my challenge to you. When you make your next episode, ask this question. Am I being intentional? But that's not enough. Ask yourself, how do I even know I'm being intentional? So we're going to do something real quick. This is something it determines if we know if we're really being intentional or not. So, okay. So we're going to, everybody in their seat, everybody comfortable? Okay. So we're going to close our eyes. Okay. Everybody's eyes closed. If you're cheating, I'll know. Okay. Everybody's eyes closed. Okay. So now I want you to envision somebody listening to your podcast. This is the type of person that listens to your podcast. So if you're a health and wellness podcast, this is somebody listening because they want to improve their health. If you're a marketing podcast, this is somebody listening because they want that next lead. They want to grow their business. If you're a podcast about mindset, this is somebody who's willing to change their mindset and they're just not there yet. So I'm going to stop talking. We're going to take 5 seconds and just imagine this person. Okay, you can come back. That's who you're creating podcasts for. Not you here, but those listeners, right? And that's us being intentional. When I started this, when Yuri started this, when we all started this, we thought if I build it, they will come, right? It's not the truth, unfortunately. As we know, there's 5 million podcasts, there's 400,000 active. If you build the right thing, the right people will come. That's how it works. And it's not that they're going to come back. They're going to tell other people who also vibe with this because you're the one delivering that specific content that they can't get enough of. So we know, okay, we got to outsource. We know we have to be intentional. And we know what we get from that. We know we have a content system. And now we bought our time back so we can focus on the number one thing, which is not ourselves, but the listener. So here's the big one. This is the number one question I get asked is, how do I become the next Joe Rogan? In which I end the Zoom call immediately. But number 2 question is, how do you make money from these things, right? So I did what I always do. I phoned a friend. 2 friends. Dave and Paul. Dave and Paul have been running the 451. Dave and Paul had been podcasting for 4 years. I hadn't caught up with them in a little bit, so I gave my friend Paul a call. Gave Paul a call. I said, hey man, how's the podcast going? He said, well, it's going pretty good. Yeah, okay, can you give me a little bit of context? Like, what, do you have numbers? Like, give me something. Yeah, so we're at 140,000 downloads. We're at 3,000 to 4,000 monthly listeners. We are at over $5 million in revenue attributed to the podcast. That means over 600 of our clients have mentioned the podcast and then turned into clients. What? I said, Paul, listen, man, that's crazy, by the way. Okay, I believe it, though, but tell me what you did. What's the sauce? I said, you must have run paid ads. Nope. You must have done SEO. Nope. You must have promoted on YouTube. Nope. What did you do? We release 1 episode a week. That's all we did. Okay. You want to know how many likes on average Dave and Paul get on a post? 4. 4 likes, 140,000 downloads on the podcast. So, again, I did 5. Yes, there you go, 4 to 5, perfect. So I did what I always do, because it wasn't enough for me, and I don't believe them, and I didn't believe Yuri, and I don't actually believe that if you outsource yourself, that you get all this time back and create more intention, and that creates more downloads. I need to see numbers. Yes, okay, so they showed me the numbers, but how did you do it? It's not enough to tell me, guys, that you just released 4 episodes a month. I'm sorry, I can't believe that. So I listened to 84 episodes of their podcasts. I'm a good friend. No, but seriously, I just think these numbers are crazy. So I said, okay, what did you do? They didn't, of course, they told me 4 episodes a month. I said, that's not it. What Dave and Paul were doing, that they didn't even know they were doing, is called the B2 system. We have the 4-5-1. That's what to do. The B2 is how to do it. In every single episode, Dave and Paul focused on not 1, but 2 specific things: beliefs and behaviors. Because what do humans want to do? They want to believe, and then they want to behave and act on that belief. In every single episode, they were talking about the type of person that does these things, believes these things. So you were either in agreement and you were in the club, or you were not and you weren't a listener. They attracted and they repelled. This is episode 24. This episode has over 1,000 downloads. 300 to 400 listeners have actually gone back to this episode because I went into the stats. They're on episode 185, and this episode has over 1,000 downloads. All of my friends think I'm crazy for putting my money into whole life insurance. I would tell you you're crazy too. The belief: I'm not crazy, they are. The behavior: I already put all my money in. But guess what this podcast is? It's a space where that's okay, because they might not get it, but shit, we do. Anybody know this guy? Mm-hmm. What's his name? Alex Hormozy. The beard goat as well. I mean, you know, Gil. Nobody knows you exist. Advertise more. Almost all of us follow Alex Hormozy. That means that if he has millions and millions of downloads and followers, that there are, don't you think there's some people in Hormozy's audience that where people do know they exist? Not enough though. That means the mindset is, the belief is, hey, if you're going to go into this, nobody knows you exist. Let's just believe that nobody knows we exist. And what are we going to do about it? What's the behavior that we match to the belief? We're going to advertise more. Now let's get to a podcast that I actually listen to. Anybody know this one? Yeah. Any listeners? I'm not actually, but I've listened to it before. So, Charlize Theron, I think I said that right. I don't need a man. Belief: I don't need a man. Behavior: I don't have one. People who don't believe that, don't click on this episode. People who do, I'm with you, Charlize. What does this B2 system do? It allows your listeners to say, I can be that too. I don't need, Charlize Theron doesn't need a man. I don't need a man. I can be that too. Let's say it together on 3. 3, I don't need a man. Let's say that actually. I like it. That's it. So, okay, I know I'm running out of time, right? Okay, I'm over now. They told me that this would happen. Anyway, still good though. Say that in your head. No. So in the instance of time, that wasn't enough for me, guys. I called Yuri, I called Dave and Paul. They had the numbers and all that. I said, you know what? I'm going to run this system. I'm going to run the 451. I'm going to run the B2. To this day, I do zero marketing for my business other than LinkedIn, YouTube, email, podcast. This podcast that you've never heard of, that you've never listened to, has contributed to over $100,000, not total, but per year in revenue. That means clients mention, hey, I'm a listener. That means prospects mention, I saw that clip from your podcast, and now I'm a client. My name is Ryan Sullivan. You guys can feel free to connect with me. If you have any questions about anything, I exchange questions for drinks. I'll be at the bar, and I'm taking up to 30 questions. Okay, it's Saturday. That's it. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry for going over, but thank you, man.